Not playing him, you're probably talking football strategy.
Yes,
Huh?
yes, it is. That's fair.
So you talk less now.
We talk less about strategy. Yes.
Coach, you can
Well, we will. Yes, I mean we'll get. If we weren't playing each other, we would actually probably sit down and really watch a lot of film and share ideas and all that. But we can't do that right now. So,
Coach, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't bring that out in the players, they're not going to be able to perform at the level you expect them to perform at. How much pressure is on the assistant coaches this year with the talent versus?
well, I think there, there's always pressure, and it's always our job to get better. But yes, I think that's fair. I mean, we need to take another step, and we're not entitled to anything. And everybody, the media and people talk about depth and certain guys, and we like our depth, we like our players. But if we didn't, we weren't. There are guys. We got to coach them to get better, no matter who they are. And just because we feel like we have a few guys that played and had some success, we're not entitled as coaches, and they're not entitled as players to walk out there and think they're going to play good. I said it to them a year ago. At different times, if you're not locked in, if we're not completely ready to go, you'll be embarrassed defensively. And I don't care how much talent you have. You have to be prepared. You have to be locked in. You have to be ready to play each and every week.
Is that what happened in the Oklahoma game?
Again, hate to go back too much. We just weren't ready. We just didn't play good. Again, we as coaches need to take some responsibility for that. Didn't put them in the right situation. Our players, it moved very fast. When things went wrong, it started snowballing, and we've seen that happen before in that stadium.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How much of obviously you're back to your brothers, their head coaches, how much of a goal is that? You're a defensive coordinator at one of the top programs in the country. How much of a goal is it to get to the...
I definitely, that's, I'd like to be a head coach someday, and I'm working hard to get there, but that doesn't have to be tomorrow. I'm working hard to do the best I can right here at Florida State to help us win a championship, and that's really all I'm concerned about. And just like we tell the players, that'll take care of itself if you do good things.
Have you felt your guys get more instinctual with the defense being their second year, being more second nature to them?
Yeah, definitely. Feel more comfortable. Feel like you could put certain, whether it be blitzes or certain things in the system, and we could say, hey, it rotates like this or that, and then they could pick it up much quicker. Yes.
That's something that, watching the game, people maybe can't really see a player with good instincts. Is that something that you think is maybe sort of undervalued?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. The things change out there we run plays over and over and over again, but things are different each and every play. Each game is different, and players have to understand and do things within the system, and need to react to it, so it's very hard to program our guys to be robots all the time, like that. They have to do it one play.
Arguably, when you bring in a group of players, these guys have 2 or 3 years that they're going to be able to play and they're not going on. So how do you evaluate when they're ready to play and when they might be able to make the move to the next step?
As far as going on to the NFL or staying?
Right.
Yeah. Well,
the freshmen come in with a lot of talent. You play them right away.
The freshmen, if they can help us, they'll play. Then it's our job to put them in a position to be successful. They have to be able to execute the defense. Again, we're talking about moving forward. We can't just go right back to square one like we were a year ago. We feel like we gotta. So if they can keep up and they can contribute, then they'll play. And again, that's where some positions it's easier than others, because there's a lot of little nuances to certain spots that makes it more difficult for them to keep up with the pace. But we did it a year ago with some young guys, and we'll do it again this year. Guys that can help us, they'll play.
Jimbo's been real high on LaMarcus at safety through the first week and through the spring. Your take on what he's looked like so far?
Very, very impressed. I feel like he's been very good. Again, you go back to the instincts. You can tell he's just a good football player.
Right.
He's not just he's taking care of business. There's a presence back there now that, you know, if the ball's going up in the air, there's a good chance he's going to go get it.
Right.
And so, you know, that you feel good about that.
And he's a pretty dynamic kid, obviously.
He is.
Back there. Just kind of talk about what that dimension gives the secondary.
Well, I think he gives us more versatility. You know, he could come down, he can play man. He plays the deep zones well. Again, he has a lot of range, and you know, and he's a high energy guy.
Right.
He's too good of a football player to be standing over there next to me.
Do you worry about his size much? I mean, we make a lot of him. He's supposed to be 6'2".
Yeah. I mean, everybody does, but you know, you've seen some good ones in the NFL, and I've seen some good ones in the NFL that were about his size. You know, like I said, he's a good football player.
And he hits like a safety.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the defensive line's progress, and what do you expect out of them? And if they can play well, what does that enable the linebackers and secondary to do?
Well, I was very encouraged last year. You know, going back, you know, we didn't know what we had, but I was very encouraged as the year went on and how they progressed. I think I've said it before. That's a credit to, you know, the Coach Elliott and Coach Higgins for the production that those guys did, the sacks and the pressure that they put on the quarterback. They did a very good job. And you know, I think, you know, this year I feel like we're stronger. There's a little bit more depth. I think that'll help in certain areas. But again, you don't know what the production's like. To go out again and get, what was, I don't even know, 46 or whatever, 40. I mean, that's, you know, I don't know. We'll get more, we'll get less, or whatever. It really doesn't matter as long as we affect the quarterback the same way. You know, we want to get after the quarterback and bounce him around, and maybe, you know, maybe he'll be thrown off his back foot or throw an interception, or, you know, so you can't put exactly a number on sacks. We don't worry about that. We worry, you know, we need to be more disciplined in our rush lanes, and we need to harass the quarterback at all times, and you know, sometimes that means just keeping him in the pocket and pushing it and not making him comfortable.
What have you seen from Jeff Luke so far?
I feel good. I feel encouraged that he came back off that injury. It's good for him. He's such a good kid. He works hard. He cares a great deal. And, you know, I feel like he's out there getting better.
He said because of the injury, he feels like he's put a little more focus on the mental side of the game. Is that something you've seen from him?
Yeah, absolutely. He realized real quick. You know, he came in early, and you know, and I think, you know, the great thing about him, he came in with a lot of hype. He came in here, and guys just kind of, you know, they want to play like high school at times, and they realize real quick that they cannot do that here. And so it was nice for a young guy to understand that and just really start focusing and trying to do all the little things right. And so, you know, I admire Jeff for that.
Mark, talk a little bit. You like to play a lot of zone, you can get some man underneath. How big a difference when you know you can rush 4 and get pressure, and you can deal with 7 in the back?
Well, last year, you know, I only talked to you once a year, but last year as I sat here, I said to y'all that we're going to get pressure in different ways, and that we'll get pressure from playing zone, we'll get pressure from blitzing, and, you know, we'll play man, we'll play zone. People put too much on, well, you're a zone guy, or you're a man guy, or you're you know, a multiple guy, you know, and you have to be multiple, and maybe we'll be more multiple this year, you know, and so you need to get good at something. Last year in the Oklahoma game, everybody talked about, you know, we weren't very good at anything. So we went back and we said, we're going to get good at something. We got good at something. Now, we need to take it another step, and we need to get better. And so that's what we did. You know, we started playing a few things last year, and that quarterback started patting the ball, and we started getting sacks and fumbles and so on. And so, you know, that, you know, we just, again, want to take it to another level.